Welcome to the Getting Applications Approved lecture. So the goal of this is if you get a denial or a pending decision, we're going to help you turn that into an approval. This is not BS. This is not some crazy Hail Mary effort. It's actually very likely that you can get approved for the credit card you want. So in this lesson, we're going to talk about how to turn those denials and pending decisions into an approval by calling the bank, and we're going to cover the information that you're going to need and the best angle to take with the bank to convince them that you are worthy of this credit card you want. Now, it is important to know, like we said, the success rate is really high. So the people that get pending decisions based on the data we've collected from our users, they get approved 65% of the time, which obviously that's really good. And what's even more surprising is the people that get denied actually can overturn those denials just more than 50% of the time. So just over half the people that get denied for applying for a credit card actually ultimately get approved. And now these stats are only for the people that do have the courage to pick up the phone and call the bank. It can be uncomfortable, but it's completely worth it because we're talking, once again, about tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of points, which mean thousands of dollars saved in travel. Now, once again, there is a fast track option. If you are a little bit tired of this deep dive we're all going on together, you can go over to app.abroaders.com, create your free profile, and we'll do all this stuff for you. And we'll share all the information and strategies that are working to get applications approved, and we'll give you all the support you need to get it done. Otherwise, if you want to continue with us on this journey and this award travel deep dive, stay tuned. So the approval process, like we've talked about before, is typically used by automated systems from the banks. They're designed to obviously approve the best qualified people instantly, and the other people will be filtered into denials or pending decisions. So sometimes even people with excellent credit get denied by the automated system. So if you aren't instantly approved, you can request a manual review with the bank's lending or reconsideration department. Now, what the bank wants is the bank wants to make sure they're extending credit to people who will pay them back and people who will use their cards. Because when you spend money on a credit card, the bank actually takes a little percentage from the merchant. So the bank makes money every time you use the card. And when you spend money, the bank makes money. They don't just make money from you if you are irresponsible or get into financial hard times and carry a balance and pay interest on it. So even if you're a great, you're on time and you pay in full, the credit cards still make money by the virtue of you using the card and taking their little fee. So the banks want you to essentially reorganize your existing spending, not finance additional spending with credit. So the way the banks view this is you as a consumer, you as a potential person that could be spending money on their card and making them money as opposed to one of their competitors. So it's just kind of good to be in the mind of the bank and the way they view this, the way they view they view sales and the way they view make money, because if you can get in their head, you can make sure that you're speaking their language and you can ultimately convince them to approve you for a card. Now, it is important to know your application details, like I mentioned before, because it's common that they're going to go over stuff. So you want to be consistent with these numbers. So either take notes of the information that, like we said before, as far as it was in your application, or if it's just all memorized stuff, just make sure you are honest and tell them the same stuff that was in your application, because it is a red flag if you're calling these people up and you're lying to them. It seems sketchy. Now, why you want a card is a common question what they'll ask you. So you don't want to mention that the sign-up bonus looks great and that you're a travel hacker. You're probably going to get turned down because they don't like that. So generally, lots of these cards have great features. They've got great benefits. So there's a lot of really good reasons that you can tell them why you want this card. You could say, hey, I love travel. This has no foreign transaction fees, and last time I was in Europe, I got eaten alive by fees. Or, hey, I fly United all the time, and I figured it'd be great if I could get a credit card that gives me some bonus miles when I buy flights on United because I'm loyal and I'm already doing all this stuff, so I may as well get some extra points for all these purchases. Or bonus categories. If you're a small business owner, or let's say you're somebody that's got a hobbyist and you buy a bunch of office supplies. You say, well, I spent all this money on office supplies and I saw that I get 3x points on office supplies, so I figured I was crazy not to take advantage of that. I figured to offer it. Or other card benefits. Hey, I travel a lot. This gives me lounge access or an extra free bag, or give them a reason other than I want to grab this bonus and then ditch the card. Give these people an actual genuine reason. There's plenty of reasons you can give them, and the ones listed on this are all great examples of why you want this credit card. Now, what to expect? Like we said, the automated system failed to approve your application because there was, particular information that either was a red flag or it couldn't be verified. So, like we said before, it might not have anything to do with actually how creditworthy you are. It could be something like your address. So, as far as strategies go, you want to verify your application information. You want to make sure that you're not being misleading with them if you get on the phone. You can potentially move a line of credit from one card to another card. You could potentially close an old account, and you can always call back and try again. So if you get denied or you get pending approval and you call the reconsideration line, if they say, you know what, I'm sorry, I've heard enough and I hear you, but we're not going to get this card, you can be polite and say, okay, thank you for your time, and you can try another agent, because one thing to remember when it's all said and done with all this stuff, whether it's the airlines or the banks, if you're on the phone with a human, it's a human. Humans have emotions, humans have bad days, humans make mistakes, humans are sometimes generous. So if you want to be persistent, that can definitely pay off as well if you get denied. Same thing goes across the board for negotiating with airlines about getting miles if they botched up your flight or things like that. So as far as dealing with denials, if you do not, get it overturned, don't worry. Get as much information as possible as why you weren't approved, because this could help you in the future for future applications, and it'll give you a good idea on potential issues you may need to deal with, or you might want to look into rules and regulations for particular banks. And if you get this information as to why you weren't approved, this, once again, it can arm you with the information needed to know what to look for, and maybe you can avoid particular issuers in the future, because you know that you've got something personally that's going to be an issue for them, and you can find the people that don't have a problem with that so you can get approved. As far as the summary of this section goes, reconsideration calls, so that's if you get denied or you get pending approval, calling up the bank. It only takes a few minutes and really high success rate. People with pending decisions that actually pick up the phone and call, 65% of them get approved for the card. A little over half the people that got denied get that reversed. So you want to be prepared to verify the information from your application. You want it to be consistent. And you want to try, as far as a couple of strategies, if you're on the phone, ask, hey, can moving a line of credit help me? Would closing another account help me? And, if you're unsuccessful, it's important to figure out why, so you can understand that, so that'll help you in the future as far as the application goes. And the final thing that's not written in here is be ready to give them a compelling reason why you want the card that isn't, I just want the bonus so I can save a bunch on travel and, not really use this card. And the examples of that would be no foreign transaction fees, the type of points earned, or your loyalty and love for a particular bank or airline or type of points, or different benefits that the card comes with, like free check bags, or, certain purchase protection insurance, or lounge access. So that is all for this lesson, and we will see you on the next video.